Hello, everyone. I hope you had a very nice Easter and that everything is going well for you and your families, and that your less important classes like physics and, I don't know, pre calculus or whatever are also going well, even though they are less important. Just wanted to give you a quick update. I'm not quite done grading, but I'm in the middle of the last section of classes and just wanted to say a few things to you. Okay, thing number one. If I'm giving you sources to help you answer questions and you have a textbook, I don't really think you should go to Wikipedia or somebody else's blog for information. Now, you can do this, but one of the things you have to remember in history class, we love the accuracy of the source. Your textbook is going to be accurate. It's been pretty well vetted. Somebody has looked through it and checked a lot of stuff. It's going to be accurate. If I put a source in there, it's probably from a university or PBS or the History Channel, or it's a primary source document, also accurate. Somebody's blog where they don't even put their name, or Wikipedia where you can go in and change the article, not good sources. I know that sometimes it's just easier to go online than to look in the book, but what else are you going to do? You've played Fortnite enough. Just open your book. Just look in the book, okay? A couple of you have noticed you've really gotten the hang of this. All I'm really doing here is going through, maybe revising the review questions a little bit and giving you those. And all you have to do to get essentially a 100 for the assignment is to go through each section of the question and answer it accurately. So if it says, please add details, what I'm looking for there is not more words, although, it will require some more words. But what I'm looking for there are names of people, descriptions of events, dates, numbers of people who participated, why something was important, why it happened, cause and effect, that sort of thing. Also, I know because I taught high school for 29. Well, I taught middle school a couple of those years, but I taught in public school for 29 years. So I know how things work, and I know that sometimes some teachers tell you one thing and other teachers tell you another thing. And I taught AP for about 25 years. So I know that sometimes your AP classes, your teachers would tell you fun things like, just say a whole bunch of stuff, and they'll overlook the stuff that isn't correct. No. Okay? If you say a bunch of things that are incorrect, then it ruins the credibility of your answer. So, what is the weird thing let me think. What is the weird thing I've been reading a lot about? Oh, um, Jackie Robinson became the first African American in Major League Baseball because people were impressed that he wouldn't give up his seat on the bus, and because of these to secure these rights report from the Truman administration. You're 0 for 2 on those things. So if you're saying that stuff and you spend a third of your answer telling me something that's not accurate, that's a problem. Now, I know some of you are going like, no, he did give up his seat on the bus. Yeah, I know. But that was during military training during World War II. And here's the truth. Most people didn't know about that. So they didn't necessarily pick him for that reason. And I guarantee you, the Dodgers did not say, hey, I think Truman issued this secure these rights report so that we could hire a black guy for the baseball team. The driving force behind that, I'm not a baseball historian in any way, but I do like Jackie Robinson. And I studied the 50s quite a bit for my master's thesis. So I do know that this had a lot to do with a guy named Branch Rickey. And he's the manager, player scout, I don't remember what he is. But he works for the Dodgers, and he's a super progressive kind of guy. And black baseball players were not a new thing. They didn't just like hang out at the house and go like, "Dang, I wish we had a place to play." If you do like baseball, you probably have heard of something called the Negro Leagues. Now, I know we've talked about that word before. That was what they called it back in the day, but they had segregated baseball leagues, and it was either late teens or early 20s where they thought, you know what would be cool? A World Series type thing where we had the champion black team play the champion white team. Well, they did that a couple years. Guess how that worked out? And guess why they stopped doing it? Um, they segregated baseball not because they didn't think black players were as good as white players. They knew good and well from experience that they were as good or better. They segregated them because people were racist. People were racist. Even teams who knew I could hire that guy for less money because he probably lives in the South and he's super broke, and he would be better than other people on my team. They want to hire a black guy because they're racist. That's the issue. So, racism, it's the problem. Also, one of the other things that I'm kind of trying to get you to notice, and then I'll stop talking because I really just want to say hi and say like, hey, pay more attention to details and use your book and don't consult weird sources and you know. Okay. But one other thing I'm trying to get you to notice when I ask you these very specific questions is history is not black and white. History is not like these guys were good and these guys were bad, with the exception of Hitler. Hitler was bad. Don't ever, we maybe have talked about this, but there are very few exceptions to this rule. So, when I'm asking you to group, like, hey, here are these events that happened in the 50s, here are these events in the 50s, group them, and then talk about why you grouped them. What I'm trying to get you to notice, like question number 2 from last week, is there's some really cool, like, let's integrate some stuff. We got a president who's very pro civil rights. He's trying to expand the fair deal, which you're also supposed to notice that Congress didn't pass. So you've got some people who want to do some good things, but you also have some people who go like, "Hey, I kind of like segregation so much that I think I'll split my own party and run a racist dude who's having a baby with a black woman as presidential candidate." So what I'm trying to get you to notice is that even when things are good, they're also bad at the same time. It's sort of like, I don't know, I was just watching one of those press briefings with President Trump, and he's got this advisor, Dr. Fauci. You've probably seen that guy, and Dr. Birx. They're pretty cool. So they get up and they say, like, hey, here's some stuff. Don't breathe on each other. Wear a mask or don't wear a mask, or, whatever they decide. And that information changes as they get more data, as it should. I mean, that's normal stuff. But then you'll see news reports that go like, Trump's an idiot. He's ruined everything. Or Trump is great. All he's ever done is perfect. You know, neither of those things are true, because some of the things that our government will not say Trump, because he's not the whole government, of course, and there's state and local stuff that goes on as well. But some of the things the government has done have probably been very logical and very well informed. Others have probably been very emotional. Some are probably based more on scientific, medical fact, while others are based on economic fact, both of which matter. So it's really balancing a whole lot of different aspects of the truth to get to a decision which is going to be partly good and partly bad. And sometimes motives are good. Like, I strongly suspect, whether you're a big Trump fan or not, that Donald Trump does not want a bunch of people to die. And probably because he's a nice enough guy, he doesn't want a bunch of people to die. However, there may be parts of his decision that are based more on economics than healthcare decisions. All those things are probably true. But to say that he's completely evil or completely perfect is dumb. Okay. So what I'm trying to get you to know, sorry if I just, yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be rude to you at all. But it is kind of dumb because except Hitler, nobody is completely perfect or completely terrible. So what I'm trying to get you to notice in our study of history is that there are times some really good stuff's going on. There's times some really bad stuff is going on. I want you to notice that sometimes they're happening at the exact same time, and sometimes good and bad things happen in the same presidency or the same person's directing them. Like, Ooh, I don't even want to spoil stuff. But later on, we're going to talk about Martin Luther King Jr., who's an amazing dude. But there are some things he does that are not perfect, and this is going to be hard for you. But you have to get that as long as we're talking about human history, there's going to be good and going to be bad at the same time. Okay. Now, all that said, I'm not trying to say that your answers shouldn't be both good and bad at the same time, but you have time to do this stuff. You have the resources to do this stuff. So take your time and answer the questions with specific detail. If I were you, because I don't know, I can't do all this stuff all at once because short attention span, as you've noticed, I would do a question a day, like do one on Monday, one on Tuesday, one on Wednesday, one on Thursday, one on Friday. That way you're not submitting at 5 minutes till midnight on Friday because you just got it finished. And also save everything you do in a Word document or whatever sort of Google Doc. Okay. But don't share it with a whole bunch of people. You know what I mean. Okay. All right. That is all of my instruction for the day. I'll add this video because I know you like watching me. And I know I said I'd get a new location. You're still counting the cereal boxes. They're still the same number. I'll try to add some up there in case I use this site. All right. Hope you have a lovely rest of the day. I'm going to finish grading your stuff because there's nothing more exciting than grading. All right. Take care of yourselves. Be nice to everybody. Be patient with everybody. Be patient with yourself as well. I promise you this work will be easier if you do it a little bit at a time. Okay? It'll be easier, less stressful. That's part of our goal here. In addition to learning history, the most important subject in the world, we also want to make sure that you are not as stressed. And you won't be as stressed if you don't put off the work till the last minute. And a little bit every day is easier. That's how I clean. That's why there's still all the cereal boxes. Oh, well, and they actually have cereal in them as well. All right, kids, have a lovely evening. Check in with your grandparents if you can. Say hi to the old people. Be nice. Do a good deed. It'll make you feel better as well. And that's it. All right. Lecture later on. Oh, the lecture's already posted. You go ahead. Watch those. Those are fun. Share them with your family. You love your family. Don't make them go through that. All right, guys. Have a good evening. Good night.